From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana. This isn't just a vacation. This is a chance to walk through the same places where many of our people were captured, held, and shipped off into slavery. So don't wait. Secure your spot today. We're making history by walking through it. Will you be with us?
My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our community. Now, today's story is quite painful, but I do believe it is exactly the kind of truth we are here to tell, right? Because what happened in Nigeria this week should shake every African awake, because it appears that the mere existence of a revolutionary Burkina Faso just 2 years under the bold leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore has actually sent shockwaves through the corridors of power in Nigeria. And the response? Not reflection, not dialogue, but suppression. Now, let me just say it plainly, right? Pan-Africanism is not being treated like a threat in Nigeria. Activist Kola Edokpayi, who is a brother committed to unity and freedom across the continent, tried to actually organize a peaceful Pan-African solidarity rally, just like the ones we've seen in Mali, in Ghana, even parts of Europe, which has been people standing in defense of Burkina Faso against the bullying tactics of Western imperialism, particularly from the US, right? But before he could even raise his placards, right, the Edo State Commissioner of Police sent him a cease and desist order, and he obeyed. But it wasn't enough for them. Soon after that, his office was raided, 6 people detained, 4 released, and Kola and 1 other kept in custody. And for what? For daring to believe in African unity, for expressing support for a fellow African leader standing up against the West. Now let that sink in. Because this, my brothers and sisters, is state-sponsored intimidation. And let's not pretend it's just local, but this is part of a bigger problem. Because Nigeria's current administration under President Tinubu has made it crystal clear where it stands. Against Pan-Africanism, against Sahel Alliance, and against self-determination. And after the revolution in Niger toppled, the West's darling Tinubu, as ECOWAS chair, didn't call for diplomacy, but he called for invasion. I know. An African president willing to send African troops to fight against other Africans on behalf of Western interests. Now, let's not sugarcoat it. Tinubu is not just a problem for Nigeria, but he's a problem for Africa as a whole. Because this is how it starts. They told you it was about national security, but what they really afraid is solidarity. I mean, do you see the pattern? They say, oh, it's just about public safety, but no, it's about control. They don't fear violence, but they fear the power of an awake, united African people who no longer look to the West for instruction.
What's happening in Burkina Faso must be supported. What's happening in Mali must be supported. What's happening in Niger must be supported. If you care the least bit about our future, how else are we going to get France out of Africa? How else are we going to get Britain, Germany, all those former colonizers? They're now in as multinationals, siphoning billions out of Africa, using safe havens to hide their returns. We know they're here. They are now wolf in sheep's clothing. I challenged ECOWAS when they were trying to mobilize a military to go and fight Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Oh, we can have a coup. I said, help me understand something. France has had coups against these nations. When France is forcing these countries to deposit their bank reserves with France, that's a coup, an economic coup. When France is making sure that all natural resources for these countries belong to France, that's a coup. But by and large, with the exception of Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali that said, France, pack your bags and go home, the rest of the African countries are still subject.
They're scared. They're scared because when people stood up for the Palestine, it spread. When people rallied for Black lives, it spread. When women all over the world cried #MeToo, it spread. And now they're watching Pan-Africanism begin to spread, and they are trying to crush it before it blooms. But I have news for you, Tinubu. I have news for every leader who thinks that they can smother this fire with fear. You cannot kill what is already in motion. We see through your tactics, we see how governments are being used to protect colonial borders and foreign profit instead of our own people. However, I do have to say that if we, the people, the global Black family, do not unite now, they will continue to erode our freedom everywhere. Nigeria today, Ghana tomorrow, your city next. I say we must resist. We must organize. And above all, we must remember that all power to the people. This is not just about one rally. This is about our right to dream and our right to organize and our right to stand and fight for our continent, free from puppets and predators. Now, Kola must be released. Pan-Africanism is not a crime. Self-determination is not terrorism. And unity is not sedation. Now, all I have to say is that this is our land, these are our lives, and we are done asking for permission to be free. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are on this. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is